Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Everything Everywhere All at Once, a new deck that aims to hit the opponent with bombs out of the blue. We're loaded with power, and we're designed to drag games into the late game where we can devour opposing decks with our payload of monsters. Getting to the late game is tricky, but we've also brought along some ramp to help us play out our big heavies. We've also got a punishing sweeper to smash down opposing armies and a spot removal to take down big threats. We are out to crush opposing decks and the opponent's will to fight. Let's get in there. We're playing the full set of Bitter Triumph, the spot removal that can take out an enemy or an opposing planeswalker for the low cost of 2 mana. We do need to either lose 3 life or toss a card when we fire one of these off, but that's a price we're happy to pay. The Evil Cub is the first of our ramp cards. When he enters, he earthbends a land so we get 2 bodies for the price of 1. And then whenever we tap Mana Men, we get an additional green mana. It's a great way to increase the amount of mana we have available, but the Cub does encounter plenty of removals, which is why we've got other forms of ramp. Ancient Cornucopia is an excellent mana artifact. It does so much for us. It will fix our colors if we're low on one, since we do have a good deal of color requirements. It will ramp us. Going from 3 mana to 5 on the following turn is huge, and it will gain us a bit of life over the course of a game. All this from one card is amazing. Tell a friend. The green Overlord is another piece of ramp. We can play him out for 3 mana or for 5 if we want the big brute force body along with the token land. The token land is fantastic since it has all basic land types and fully unlocks our verges. And of course, we can tap it for any color mana to further help us power out our pricier cards. The Rise of Sozin is our sweeper. It not only takes out a board full of men, but it lets us snipe cards right out of the opponent's deck. Then it becomes one of our men and gets us the cards he killed off right out of the opponent's grave. His stats are excellent, and with Menace, it's harder for the opponent to block up. Vein Ripper is the first of our dedicated monsters. He's a big vampire with excellent stats and a ward ability that requires sacrifice. This guy would be an excellent top end in any black heavy deck, but here he is only one of many hard hitters opponents will have to deal with. The red Overlord is dedicated to bringing the pain. When it enters, we can hit anything for 4 damage, and with Impending we can play it out earlier. At full price, we get to hit for another 4 damage when it swings in. This gives us an extra removal, or if we need just 1 more hit on the opponent's life total to take it down. Trumpeting Carnosaur is a beefy dino that gives us the biggest body so far, and when it enters, we get to discover 5. That's not quite enough to get us something ridiculous, but there's a reason we want to discover 5. But we'll get to that with our very next card. We can also use this big dino to hit an enemy or an opposing planeswalker for 3 damage if we pay 3 mana and toss it. It's yet another removal that could potentially help us get to the late game. Chimil the Inner Sun is a fantastic artifact. It doesn't have an enters play ability, but it will change the game for us when we get it on board. Once in play, we can ignore the opponent's counterspells. Everything we fire off will get to land, whether they like it or not. Then at the end of our turn, we get to discover 5. As we mentioned earlier, this is by design. If you look at everything that this will get us, it includes all our ramp cards. This will ramp us further if we still need it, and will pull those cards out of our deck. That makes our Improvisation Capstone more likely to hit on the big crippling cards we want to see on our board. Planetarium of Wan Shi Tong is a fantastic card. In a deck where we don't have card draw, getting extra plays through the Planetarium is a great help. Plus, the Scry can help us find cards we want. Getting something big for just 1 mana is ridiculous. Getting something big for 1 mana and at instant speed can be game-changing. On the shark side, even the tough guys will tumble. Restoration Seminar is an excellent weapon. With it, we can get something from our grave back to our board, and we'll do that at the beginning of each of our turns until the game ends. We expect some of our big heavies might end up in an early grave, and we can make the opponent's life a living nightmare by getting them right back to do it all over again. Improvisation Capstone is a big backbreaker that can get us any of our big spells, and we'll get to do this at the start of each of our turns. What's great is if it hits on one of our smaller cards, we'll get it along with something else. With great power comes a lot of wrecked souls. Vaultborn Tyrant is a monster. Not only do we get a big body, we also get to draw an extra card and gain 3 life when this dino arrives. Then, when we have another one of our men with power 4 or more, we draw again and gain another 3 life. Plus, if the tyrant is killed off, we get a token copy of it that gives us another round of its Interplay abilities. Getting it back from the grave would just make the opponent pull the hair right out of their skull. Armagon? Future Shark is a crushing blow to the opponent's defensive hopes. When he enters, we get to destroy up to 3 men, and we can play him out at instant speed for a wicked surprise. He is a big body with plenty of power that will complicate the opponent's blocking scheme. A true monster surprise. Lord Voldemort is the big heavyweight that comes in and can immediately give us an edge. He has a huge ward ability that makes him hard to take down. The lifelink attached to this big body is huge. It will easily let us race the opponent at the least. At best, we can start closing the game out. For lands, we're playing 4 Hushwood Verge, the forest that becomes a Selesnya dual when we have a forest or plains in play. 3 Thornspire Verge, the mountain that becomes a Gruul dual when we have a mountain or forest in play. 2 Restless Cottage, the Golgari Man land. 4 Overgrown Tomb, the Golgari Shock land. 2 Forest. 2 Ba Sing Se, the special land that lets us earthbend lands. 3 Mountain, 3 Swamp, and 1 Plains. Playing the deck is rather simple. The most important factor is being willing to mulligan away slow hands to try for some of our early plays. We want to ramp as often as possible to get to our bigger cards. Getting to 6 mana lets us fire off our sweeper if the opponent has built up a board full of men. Getting a copy of each of our artifacts is great, those will help us out. But we really want to fire off an Improvisation Capstone. That can get us anything right off the top of our deck, and with our selection of men, that should easily give us the advantage on board, especially if we get something big after we just cleared the board. Rest in pieces, opponent. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Little Mac Number Pile. He was a hamburger experiment for McDonald's. We're kicking things off with a 3-lander that has a pair of our ramp cards and, of course, a couple of our top-end plays. We'll try it out. Keep your pants on. They play out a nesting bot. There's no way we've run into the only player left on Arena still running Sephiroth Sacrifice. I don't remember the last time I came across this unicorn. People are sleeping on the capstone. Some have tried it, but you need big heavies to make it shine. We draw an evil cub. We should have had it last turn. Where were you, bro? We could go with the Horn of Plenty, but the green Overlord provides a better line. We'll get to 4 mana, then next time we can play both the Cornucopia and the Cub. We draw another land, which is just fine. We are getting closer to capstone mana. This turn, we're going with our Horn of Plenty and the Evil Cub. You gotta always be aware of the auto-tapper. It conspires to try to get you killed. They drop in a commando on us. It would be a shame if they took out our Horn of Plenty. They decide to let their commando hang around long enough to see some action. Smart of them. But that's probably the last time we'll be saying that about this Oppo. They drop in Rob Van Dam. They're going with numbers maybe because their men are all rather small. They will need to swarm us with men. They send their commando. That also describes what he's wearing under his pants. We are not blocking. We'll take all of it, bro. They use their commando to take out our Horn of Plenty. That was exactly what we didn't want them to do. We draw one of our sweepers, and it's very tempting to throw it down. However, that will set us back on mana since we'll end up losing the cub. Do we really want to go down to only 5 mana? The other option is to earthbend another land with our Ba Sing Se. That will take us up to 7 mana unless they snipe the cub. They throw down the Blair Witch. You've got to wonder how often they get matched up against life gain. They snipe our green Overlord. What they should have done was taken out the cub. It's almost like we paid them some money so they'd ignore the cub. They only send in the bot. It's almost like they are not serious about trying to hit us for damages. We draw another land, but we've got the mana we need. We are going to cap our turn with the Capstone. Hold on to your knickers, bro. We hit on another of our sweepers, and we'll take it. We do want their men gone. We will go down to only 6 mana, but we have a Capstone to help us find game-ending monsters on every one of our turns from here to Underverse come. We'll want to take out their commandos when we take our turn. Those could be annoying. No, wait, they snipe our sweeper with another exercise. Those might have to go too. We draw another land. That will get us to 7 mana. Let's see what the Capstone gets us. That's a Chimil. It'll fetch us up our mana stuff, and we can start clearing the small cards out of our deck. For this turn, we'll hit them with our sweeper again. Sniping cards out of their deck will cripple their ability to fight. We get a green Overlord. Now we're 1 mana away from being able to throw down Lord Voldemort. Oppo is trying to digest the situation. It's just not looking good. They fire off a revive. We'll get to see their men come back for another go. Even their commando will get a second chance to mess up our game plan. They hit our Sozin? Understandable. If we use it to clear out their Sephiroth, it'll be GG's. We draw another Chimil, which is not ideal. That's okay, the Capstone might find us something good. Capstone for a Capstone. We'll keep going. And that's a Horn of Plenty and a removal. Yes, to both. We can toss the extra Chimil and snipe their Blair Witch project. Let's get back our sweeper. The seminar will let us rebuild, so taking out our own men is fine. The advantage each paradigm card gives us should be too much for them to take, even with us in single digits. Rob Van Dam does get to take out a card, but anything they snipe we can just get back. There are times during the game that you know the opponent is doomed. This is one such moment. They are low on cards and their small men cannot compare to what we can bring down on this board. We get another green Overlord for free. Oppo's hind end isn't going to kick itself. We need to apply boots to it. They get their signature card in play. It is nice and all, but it is so much smaller. We fear not, and that is their primary weapon. We'll get our sweeper back. Sure, we knock out our own Overlord, but we're also putting Sephiroth in an early grave. That's their main man being shoved in the earth. Oppo can't even afford a coffin. A Vein Ripper is good. We can lend him some support with our Lord Voldemort. Their bloated life total is already trembling in fear. What are they supposed to do? And we get yet another green Overlord. Your go, my bro. Also, good luck. They snipe our Overlord, but that is going to come with a price. They couldn't afford a coffin, and they were barely able to pay for that removal. A nesting bot? That's their best play? No, wait, they have another Rob Van Dam. It likely doesn't matter what we name here. We'll snipe their commandos. Everything they have is about useless now. Our capstone gets us another Ripper, Rip Oppo. We can use their own removal against them. Sure, we're going down low, but we're about to pick up 9 life thanks to Lord Voldemort. There's the brain chowder we all know and love. That's GG's, Big Men Cheese. This is Pan Am, no wait, it's Puny Meek Anteater. Welcome to the big show, PMA. We get a 3-lander with a removal and a pair of our ramp cards. We've also got exactly 1 of each of our colors. This might be as good as it gets. Keep your pants on. They play out a wild bill. It's the predictable landfall deck we've all seen a million times. We'll pay the 3 life to snipe Bill. Let's keep their men to a minimum. We draw one of our top-end men. We might get the mana eventually. We'll go with our Horn of Plenty. That'll give us the double green we need for the Overlord. And once the Overlord gets us his token land, that will be enough for the Planetarium. It's all coming together. They play out a golden turkey. We'll either have an early Thanksgiving or we're about to end up with a mouthful of feathers. We'll pay the full price for our green Overlord. We even have a land in hand so we can drop in our Planetarium next turn and activate it right away. They go with a Hydra. Let me guess, they are going to follow up with a fetch land. What a surprise. And they crack it right away. We draw a capstone, and we have to decide between the capstone now or the Planetarium. Either way would be great, but the Planetarium can set up the capstone. The scry really is that good. They drop in a basic land, so there won't be any land fetching this time. Their Hydra still gets big, but it's not insanely large. They fire off a removal to take down our Overlord. Before any of that happens, let's just take a peek at what we have on top. That's a land and a cub. We can do much better than that. We'll send them both on down, and then we get a land on top. That's not as awful as it would first appear. That mountain gives us the mana to fire off the capstone and still use the Planetarium. They add a bill to their board. They have lethality on board, so we really need removals and a blocker, or a sweeper. We'll scry up first to see what we have on top. That's a land and a tyrant. We'll take the dino. The tyrant is our card draw. And that's a cornucopia, not what we wanted to see. Let's fire off the capstone. It's our only hope. That gets us a Chimil and a removal. We can use it to snipe their Hydra, and if all goes well, our artifact will get us a green Overlord. Or another Horn of Plenty. That's fine, we should be able to survive another turn. And we have an active capstone getting us free plays off the top, along with our Planetarium. They drop in another Hydra. They are down to top decks, so we've still got a chance. They send their golden turkey, and we'll block up. That will be more life for us and another draw. It's all upside. We draw the red Overlord. We can use it to take down their Hydra if we don't get anything great off the capstone or the Planetarium. The Rise of Sozin is perfect. We'll clear out all men including our token, but we've got way more options than they do. Our board will look better a lot faster. We'll go with Lord Voldemort. Let them suck down some pain when we send him in. We get a free cub. That gives us lethality in just a couple of turns. How the tables have turned, right, bro? That's enough to smother their will to fight. That's GG's. They gave up due to our cheese. This is Sock, OJ, and I. What? I don't even know, bro. We get a wild mix of cards here. The double cubs save us. With both of them on board, we'll have 6 mana from those 2 lands. All we need is more mana of the right colors. But this is a good start. Keep your hopes up. We draw a Planetarium. We can play that out if both cubs survive. They take 2 points from their own land, then pass on playing anything out. That's an odd choice. Our cub survives, and we draw a green Overlord. We can play out the second cub, then follow up with the green Overlord. We went from not having a whole lot of mana to having so much we can play out some of our bombs. They hit us with a Withering Curse, and we go right back down to not having much mana. We could Impending out the red Overlord, but we'll hold on to it. In this deck, we want to use it as a removal if we can. Just hitting face for 4 isn't worth it at this point. They drop in the prof. My guess is they're going to go with the life gain option instead of draw. Yes, Oppo, that is clearly the best option. We draw a removal, and the prof will have to eat it. He's taking a big old bite. We get to 5 mana. We're just 1 short of being able to start taking advantage of our Planetarium. They fire off a deadly cover-up. Seems a little premature for when we have only 1 guy in play. They do collect evidence, so let's see what they're taking out. They nail our removals. I thought they'd go with the cub. Our 6th mana arrives. From here, we're just 1 mana short of firing off our seminar. That's our 7th mana. Get in there, Planetarium. They have to read it to know what it does. Don't worry, bro, we're about to show you. Grab onto your pants. Never mind, that's a pair of lands. We're going to put those on the bottom. Then we get a cub. Not all that fearsome and kind of a letdown. The seminar would be fine, but let's go with the Ripper. We want to inflict damages even if they hit us with another sweeper, which is something they are very likely to do since they've already fired off 2 board wipes. They play out another prof. Is this more life gain, followed by a withering curse?
My job is to teach. Yours is to learn. This will only sting for a moment.
I mean, they couldn't have telegraphed that more, even if they had an actual telegraph. We have more lands on top, but we'll skip that portion of this program. We need ammo. A Chimil is fine. That at least can start fetching out the smaller portion of our deck. We'll pay the full price for our red Overlord. When it lands, we'll hit the prof. Walk it off, bro. Walk it off.
Remedial at best.
They fire off a desist, but that is not as great as they likely think it is. We have a seminar to get everything back 1 card at a time. Before everything gets cleared out, we'll activate our Planetarium. We don't really need Sozin. Let's send both on down. We get a green Overlord, but at least we get another token land before the board wipe comes.
Spell turns poison to medicine.
It's time for the seminar to hit them in their pants. We'll get back our red Overlord and crush some hopes and dreams. The prof is looking mighty thin over there. Better give him some food, bro. I think we all knew they were going to try to gain and drain us, but that strategy was a pipe dream against us. Our seminar will get us something else, but what should we get? The Ripper would be good here. Right? They get the smell out of town before we can swing in. That's GG's. Our cheese was better than their cheese. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.